episode 83.
Are you ready to take your eBay business to the next level? Then hold on, because Ron and Ali are going to take you into the fast lane with the latest tips and insights from some of the biggest and most successful sellers here on the So You Want to Sell on eBay podcast.
Welcome once again to another episode of So You Want to Sell on eBay. I'm Ron LeBeau.
And I'm Ali Young.
Hey, everyone. We have with us all the way from California, Cynthia Boris. Cynthia, how you doing today?
I am excited to be here.
Cool. Great to have you, Cynthia. I've been looking at your store. I've already got a few numbers eyed up.
Yeah, we've got some things to talk about, Cynthia. But first, let's talk about a little bit about what you do and what you've been doing. And Cynthia and Lars have been selling on eBay since the early days when you had to host your photos elsewhere. They sell what they love: pop culture, collectibles, TV and movie memorabilia, and all kinds of vintage memories, from T-shirts to souvenirs and photos.
We got another one, Ron. Another one that sells a bit of everything. Before the podcast, and I've already shown Cynthia, I've seen this neon clown jazz dance costume. I could really see me moving in that thing there, Cynthia.
It'd be
and
beautiful.
I don't want to.
And Ron doesn't want to. I'll do a YouTube video for everyone, you know. Whoop, whoop.
And we'll post it on our show notes page.
That's it. So cool. I mean, how do you get to have so much fun?
How do I get to have so much fun?
Well, don't you, with all this stuff that you have?
I do. Well, that's why I do it. And I gotta say that is the one thing. When it's not fun anymore, we're not going to do it, because as much as we really built it up to a business where it used to just be kind of our little side hobby, it's still fun. It pays for our hobby. Our hobby is thrifting. We're one of those people. So if we didn't sell on eBay, we'd have a hoarding problem.
There you go.
Yeah, definitely. So that is the sources, is it, of all this great stuff down thrift stores?
Yeah, it is. We started, I think, like a lot of people did, selling off what we had, our stuff. And it was, back in the day, we had to wait for people to mail a check, pre-PayPal.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
And,
those were the days.
Yeah, we were collectors. My husband and I always say he married me for my collection. We were both big collectors of old Irwin Allen television memorabilia, Lost in Space, Land of the Giants and stuff. And I had a huge collection, and he had a huge collection. And so when we married him together, we sold off the duplicates so we could buy newer, cooler, better stuff. And we started doing that on eBay. And at the time, I was a writer, and I covered TV collectibles for Toy Shop magazine, and I wrote a book, and it was kind of my thing. So eBay at the time, as you know, back then, eBay was pretty much just collectibles. That's what it was. And it was auctions. It was, it was the same as it is in some ways, but yeah, it was really different. And it killed the collectible market, because before eBay, you'd get a Lost in Space lunchbox and, you'd flip it for a couple $1,000, but because they were hard to find. And then eBay came along, and suddenly they weren't so hard to find anymore.
No doubt.
So, we started doing that, and we did that for a long time, just sort of selling stuff that we wanted to flip out of our own home. And I don't know what happened. A couple of years ago, I think I just, I kind of just I think I saw it somewhere that somebody was actually buying to resell. We hadn't actually done that. It was just always leftovers. And I went to the Goodwill one night, and I came back with 2 gigantic bags of things. And my husband went, "What are you doing? We don't have enough stuff in the house." And I said, if I can't make a profit on this, I will never do it again. But if I can, this is it.
We're game.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. And and it worked. And, we've kind of gone in and out. I'd say my husband's retired, so he it sort of is his full-time business. And I write, and I'm a social media manager, so it's kind of my part-time business. And we keep going, we're on that fence where, we do well, but we don't make a full-time living yet. But,
right.
And we can't decide if it's just because if we put a few more hours in or what. I don't know. I've gotten way off the question. But
No. This is the way we roll on this podcast show. We're all over the place, but that's it. So you sort of started this off as a hobby. All right, I'll try this. And now they do sell. And that's what you start doing. I mean, I can just vision. I'm in Thailand, so we don't really have thrift stores. We got like sort of Burmese charity shops. But I can vision you down there, you're hustling, you're diving in the clothes, you're pulling out this beauty, you're going home, you're taking a picture, you're putting it on eBay, and you're making some money. What is not fun about that?
It is. And what we've come to do more than that. So the thrift stores, this is a funny thing about thrift stores is, again, when we started this, like really seriously, when I say started, like I said, we've been doing it since the beginning, but we really dug in a couple of years ago. I could go to Goodwill like every night and find some vintage item, some old toy, the things that I love. I buy pretty much what I like. But since then, in the last 6 months to a year, our thrift stores have become like they're selling mostly the cast-offs from department stores. So a lot of new clearance type stuff. And it's become really difficult to, number one, find a deal, and number two, find the kind of things that we look for, which tend to be more vintage, pop culture collectibles. So we've really shifted toward estate sales, which we live in Orange County, which is mostly a little high end. And so we go to estate sales that are just crazy, the things that people have saved through their lives. And it's not just, and so it's become a whole new part of the hobby for us in that it's not only just the search for cool items, which it always was, but now when we're going to these estate sales, like you walk into someone's home and you see their whole life laid out in front of you. And it can be depressing at times because you go, gosh, how sad.
Yeah. I've been to a few of them, and, you go in, like the cabinets, everything, this was mom and dad's place, and now everything's got a price tag on it. It's a little hard sometimes to get over.
It is. And I think, but on the other hand, I feel like we become the conduit to get this stuff that it's going to end up in a landfill or who knows where to people who would really cherish it. And, and some of it's crazy. Like recently we started selling other people's home movies. I laughed the other day. We spent a Saturday night watching other people's home movies. It was,
oh my God.
This is
There's George, he's getting on his horse.
It's like Christmas Vacation, but with somebody else's family.
It's crazy. And what's funny is we put on a video. It was an old 8mm. We found a projector at an estate sale, and we found a whole bunch of 8mm movies. And we were watching them, and they were from the era when I was a child, and it could have been our home movies, like the furniture and the way the kids were dressed. It was Twilight Zone scary. Like we were watching this
scary.
Going, this could be us.
Shirt. This
could be us. Yeah. And we thought, how weird would it be if we put it up and the people who were in those videos bought them?
Yeah, that would be a little strange.
Yeah, but it was fascinating. And it's just it's like history. Think about what we, when historians and when we go to a museum, it's a museum of our everyday existence through the 60s and 70s and sometimes earlier. All these little bits of paper we find, photos. We find so many photographs, like, families that just, you can't keep it all. You just can't. And so, we had a huge collection of Korean War photos, a young soldier who had been stationed overseas during Korea, and he was a photography buff. He shot hundreds. I think there were 200, 300 photos that he shot. Nice, really good photos of his platoon and just the everyday things they did. And it was amazing. And a Korean War collector bought them from us. And it's, the kind of photos that could end up in a book somewhere, because it's really showing a slice of life that some of us have forgotten.
Yeah, and I think that would be, for me, I think if I found something like that, it'd almost be hard to, even put it up for sale. It's kind of like you said, it's a piece of somebody's history, right?
Yeah, it is. And I think it is a little strange. Some people think it's weird, or creepy. We'll use the word creepy to sell other people's memories. But it is that thing again. It's somebody's. We jump up and down for celebrity stuff, which is kind of a lot of how we started. Like I do sell a lot of celebrity photos and scripts and things like that. And that people understand. Tom Cruise owned that. I want it. But,
right.
When a person they never heard of, how is it different? Here's this man who was, like I said, this guy was a soldier in the army. We don't know, what happened in his life. He put his life out there on the line for us. Shouldn't we celebrate his things as much as we celebrate Tom Cruise?
Exactly. That's well said, actually. It's exactly right. We do celebrity stuff goes on eBay for lots of money.
I've seen some crazy stuff like that on eBay, like George Clooney's sock, and now everyone's bidding. I mean, how do you know that's George Clooney's sock? That could be Jimbo's sock from down south there, Crazy stuff. So do you ever keep any of this? Do you have like a hoard? You have this one room that we all have in this house, which is just, that's my room, that's my stuff, don't go in there.
It's every room in the house. No. Yeah. Yes. Well, we're better. We're definitely better. Having kids changed our ability to collect all the stuff we wanted. You know what I find most often, my husband's different, I'll tell you in a sec, but I tend to enjoy it as long as it takes for it to sell. And then I send it off and I replace that spot with some other cool thing that I found until it sells. And we had a beautiful pair of Alice in Wonderland Mickey ears. And it was one of the high-end collectibles that came in a box with this lenticular and all this. And it sat next to my desk for longer than we expected. I think almost a year before it sold. And I enjoyed it. It was there. It was beautiful. And when somebody finally bought it, I send it off to a new home and somebody else gets to enjoy it. My husband, on the other hand.
I'm jealous. I'm so jealous.
He, on the other hand, likes to keep. I have a harder time wrenching things from his hands. He's a big fan of old media. So DVD, VHS and beta, cassettes, 8-tracks, that kind of thing, and machines. We have a machine, like every format going probably back. Well, now that we have a 1960s projector, I think we have every format going back there.
Oh, nights in.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Ron and Ali will be right back after this short break.
Do you want to set yourself apart from other eBay sellers? Want to look like one of the big brands? How would you like to feel confident that you could do it yourself, but know that the support is there if you get stuck? Now you can create your branded eBay store and have your store doing more. With Auction Pro Template's premium do-it-yourself eBay template. This template is loaded with tools and features you won't find in any other system. Go to yourstoredoingmore.com now to see what's included. That's yourstoredoingmore.com.
Be sure to check out SoYouWannaSellOnEBay.com for the latest podcasts and all the information you need to get selling fast.
So how do you figure out the price on this stuff? I mean, this is the question I like to always ask people, because to me, it just seems so complicated. I got this. Where is he gone? He's here. He's the Frankenweenie Spike the dog. I mean, I'm seriously considering buying this thing. This thing is amazing. How do you know what that is worth?
We love Frankenweenie. The moment we saw him, we had to take him out.
Sell him, keep him. He's awesome.
Well, we had that fight too. And what's funny is we thought somebody else was buying him because he was actually on the counter at a Salvation Army store. And I kept eyeing it, waiting to see. And people kept walking by it. And I finally walked up and said, "Is somebody buying this? Because it's sitting on the counter." She's like, "Nah, it's just here." And I'm like, "Sold." But that particular item wasn't as rare as we thought. We did not expect to find other ones on eBay, and we did. So when we can find something, which is more often than you expect, even though we deal in a lot of vintage stuff, I can't even believe how many times we find somebody has already sold this thing.
Right.
So we always start with sold, prices. If not that exact item, similar items in the age range or from the same era, something like that. And then if it's not, because, like I said, a lot of the stuff we sell, photos and things are one of a kind. I kind of sometimes we'll put them on auction. If we think it's really something or we're really clueless, we'll put it on auction and see where it lands. But more often than not, I pick a price that I would not cry over if it sold. and then I go up a little bit, because I tend to think like a buyer, and I think about what I would pay for it, which is not what other people would pay for it. Because I'm cheaper than them, because I thrift. So I'm cheaper. I'll usually start a little higher and then just bump up some, and because you can always come down, and we always have best offer, almost always have best offer. And sometimes that'll help us gauge. If 5 guys come in and say, "Hey, I only want to give you, 40 for that, and I've got it at 80, I start to get the message that we've got it too high.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. And plus, the whole best offer thing is just another way for me to go, you know what? I don't want to pay $60 for it, but, I might pay $45 for it. Throw it out there, see what happens.
Yeah, and what's funny is I think a lot of people are afraid of best offer because they think I'm never going to get my selling price. But most of the time, like I said, I think right now we've got about 450 items listed. We sell, I'd say 80%. Nobody ever hits that best offer. They just pay what we asked. And the other ones will ask us for a deal. And, we don't take every deal. Like some people, we had a guy last night come in. We have they're optivisors. They're called, they're for magnification when you're doing small things. And they're kind of new in box. And I think we've got them at about $30 with free shipping. And he comes in and offers $5 with free shipping. Like we can't even ship them for that. They won't even ship for that.
Why don't I just drive it across the country to you for $3.52?
Exactly. And I think sometimes when they offer, they don't understand that because not everybody rolls shipping in, but we do. So I think that sometimes does confuse them. But clearly, it's just like, come on. I mean, just if you give us a reasonable offer, if you either give us a reasonable offer or we've been sitting on it for a year and I'm sick of looking at it, yeah, then I might give it to you for $5.
But don't insult me.
Yeah, $5. I can't even buy a packet of Walkers. So what's your average day then? I mean, I'm just visioning so much fun here. So are you like thrifting once a week, twice a week, then listing once? I mean, what's the day in the life of Cynthia look like?
Well, that actually has been our big question in the last month or two, because we started out doing it sort of just as a fun thing. I used to thrift on my own. It was how I got out of the house. I work from home because I said I'm a writer and I work on the internet. So it was my way to get out. And then my husband caught on to it and he was like, no, I want to come thrifting. Now, mind you, he rarely picks up things for us to resell. He's mostly finding things that go in his own treasure trove, but he comes with him. So we started thrifting at least once a week at that point, just always at least once. And then there were weeks we started to pick up. But, honestly, we probably don't, on an average week, if we go out twice, that's actually a little unusual. 3 times would be way unusual. Like that would have to be if there were just like a whole bunch of amazing estate sales, we would do that. But we don't. So we're only going out a couple times and we're definitely not spending the kind of money. I hear, people, go out and say, I went to Savers and spent, dropped $200, $300. And I can't do that. I just can't get past that. Even if I know I can flip it, I can't get that at one pop. So part of it's that. And that's, like I said, where we're debating whether if we did go every day, if we did spend more and then list more, would our numbers really, rise exponentially? In theory, it's the theory. Yep. But in the end, I'm also, like I said, still running. I have clients and I have another business I'm running. I said we thrift a couple times. I do try to list every day because I do feel like that there's that rumor that listing helps eBay serve up your stuff more often.
Right.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Same as a website sort of thing. Yep. Fresh content.
Yeah, exactly. Fresh content. And it seems to be true because when we take a break, it does seem to slow. So we do try to list at least a couple things every day. And then, once a week, I'll just get tired of the pile and just go, I got to plow, listing's never the fun part.
Yeah, that's common with most people. We find that's the ka-ching's the good part. The outsourcing is the good part. Putting it on is the boring part.
Exactly. Yeah, but I got to get the money coming in. And then my husband thankfully does all the packing. Because that's a big thing too. I kind of, because he does it, I don't think about that sometimes. People who are doing it by themselves, it's a lot. Now, you laugh about we sell everything. I do try to stay with things that are light and small. We sell a lot of T-shirts, a lot of T-shirts. Mm-hmm. And I said I've moved into costumes recently. That was a mistake. That was a fortuitous accident. Call it.
I like that. That's possible.
We went to what we did is we were going to an estate sale and we passed a sign for an estate sale that we did not know about. And we said, why not? We're on the way. We drove up and it turned out to be a house that had been owned by a magician, a professional magician.
Oh, no. Wow.
And it was to the rafters with magic and costumes. And I could not grab stuff fast enough. And I just and the whole time, because that's how I am, as I'm grabbing things, I'm going, am I wrong? Like, why isn't anybody else buying this stuff? Like, this is cool stuff. And I didn't know how much they were going to charge me either. So I'm nervous that I'm piling up a box and they're going to come back and go, that'll be $400, please. Right. So I fill one of those plastic totes, the kind, right?
Yeah.
Fill it with magic tricks. Professional. And these are professional. This is not like the kid stuff from Toys R Us. This is professional magic tricks. I fill another box with costume pieces. I bring it up to the kid and go cringe and go, how much? And I'm thinking he's going to take every item out, start counting. He looks at the box. He goes, $30. I was like, I couldn't hand him the money fast enough. I'm going, you sure he missed a zero at the end? So I went home. I went home and I could not sleep, thinking how much I'd left behind. And I'm going, I have to go back.
Exactly. Why did you go home?
I know. I have to go. Well, I should have turned right around. I'm no joke. Yep. I should have done it. And I laid in bed all night going, what if somebody went in and bought everything else? Well, before.
Hey, at that price, you should have put an offer in on the house.
I should have. And it's dumb because I did. I went back, said to myself, I'm going to buy everything they have left. Everything. And I still didn't, because there's something in me that after I had 2 boxes more piled high, I just couldn't do it. I don't know what it is. My brain just goes excessive, stop. And we did so well. Those magic tricks sold so quickly for so much money, and people were thrilled because we were still selling them so far below what they cost new. And the man had taken immaculate care of everything. I mean, we will never see another estate sale like this. It was so incredible. And then the costume part just also started to take off. And then now with Halloween coming up, we just started adding more and more to that section of our store. We love Halloween and that kind of thing. And anyway, I've been in theater and television, and so I love costumes and that kind of thing. It was just fortuitous. And I think kind of in the way that I like to sort of look at something for a while and then pass it on. It's kind of how our store's been too, that we'll have kind of a small, a mini theme, like a pop-up shop for a little while. And then, the magic's just about gone, and finding, we'll never find another trove like that at that price. So, we won't become the magic dealer, because we won't find it.
Did the magic tricks come with how to do the magic, or are they just the pieces that you need for them?
Yeah, no, and that's what I found out that was really funny. And I think this is one of the things that held me up when I first started grabbing this stuff, was a lot of it was just like a plastic bag with paper in it. And I'm thinking, how can this be? But what I found out is that the secret to the trick is what costs, is the money. So a lot of times, literally a booklet that tells you how to do something with everyday ordinary items, would have sold for $40, $50, $60 from a magic shop, because you're buying someone's trick that they perfected. And I also tried to be very careful, because I also found a lot of the tricks have a code number on them, so that if the trick is revealed to the world, they will know which magician ratted it out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Can you believe that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So a lot of the things, when we photographed them, we didn't photograph the trick itself. We photographed the packaging and said, I cannot show you what's inside. If you want to send me an email, I'll send you private pictures, but I felt like I can't put out here, I can't show you the mechanism that makes this thing work, that makes this bird fly across the stage, because then everybody will know. And so, it was kind of an interesting thing, because the way we had to list was sort of but we figured anybody who's going to spend that kind of money knows what they're buying, and knows, so that was the case. But
I've always been intrigued with magic, man. I guess a lot of people are. I'm not unique, I know.
It was amazing.
I would have sold it. I would have opened up a theatre in my house, and charged people money to come and watch me be Magician Ali,
Well, I have to say, I tried a couple of them, and I'm like, it's clear that just having the trick is not enough. You have to have talent on top of it. It was one of those how a magician shakes his hand and the wand magically appears. Yeah. So it's this little container that's got like a pressurized crazy wand inside, and oh hello, don't point it towards yourself when you trigger it. Oh my God, I almost went to the hospital. I mean, it was just like this thing shot out. And
that's true magicianism right there, that is.
Magicianism, okay.
They don't show you that part on YouTube. They only show you the end part, the success, but the stabbing in the eye, the intensive care unit, they don't show you that.
That's what my son said. He was like, oh, if he'd been videotaping me when I tried the trick the first time, we probably would have made a lot of hits on YouTube.
There you go.
Ram myself in the chest with the magic wand. Bam. Yeah.
So jealous. So much fun in this store.
Poof, that hurt.
It's time for a quick break, but the guys will be right back here on the So You Want to Sell on eBay podcast.
What's more exciting than starting your own eBay empire with one of Auction Pro Template's custom eBay store and listing template packages? How about saving yourself $200 when you do it? That's right. Right now, you can take advantage of starting your own totally custom eBay store for the insanely low price of $697 when you use promo code SAVE200 during checkout at AuctionProTemplates.com. You still get all of the amazing features and benefits as before, like a custom designed eBay store and matching custom eBay listing design, video tutorials, software, custom branding, 1-year free hosting, and so much more. But now you get to save yourself $200 doing it. So celebrate the start of something awesome with $200 in savings when you order your very own custom eBay store and listing template package. Go to AuctionProTemplates.com and check out all of the features and benefits of having a totally custom eBay store and use promo code SAVE200 today.
Are you looking to boost sales by selling your products on eBay? The M2E Pro extension makes it easy by quickly integrating your existing Magento store into eBay. By installing M2E Pro, you can easily create listings across all 23 major eBay marketplaces, including eBay Motors. Using M2E's intuitive interface, you can also set controls to manage your listings, including automated syncing of inventory, pricing, and product details. As sales are completed on eBay, M2E will import all your transactions and process them as Magento orders. It will even allow you to send feedback for the buyer automatically, all from within your Magento store administration. And you can rest assured knowing the M2E extension is certified by both Magento and eBay. M2E Pro, selling on eBay made easy.
Try M2E Pro for 60 days with no obligation. After that, if your eBay sales are still less than $10,000, you can continue using our solution completely free of charge. We truly support SMEs.
Have you heard about the success story of Meat Snacker, one of the largest online meat providers around? They've tripled their sales revenue in the past year. Tripled! And they did it with Ecom Dash. Ecom Dash's software optimizes your business by putting all your sales channels in one dashboard, integrating with eBay, Amazon, ShipStation, and more. It even syncs inventory and routes sales orders, and forwards tracking information to your buyers, all automated and hands-off. Find out how to grow your sales at Ecom Dash. That's ECOMDASH.com/podcast.
We're back with more tips, insights, and interviews with Ron and Ali.
So where's the future then? More magic? I mean, what are we looking at? Are you going to build on this, trying to make it bigger? What do you see yourselves as?
Yeah, I wish we could do more magic. I think the two things. I think we are going to go bigger. This is. We're higher. We're bigger now than we've ever been, and I think we're going to continue this route and keep going. As said, as long as it keeps being fun. And it's really is what we find. I mean, I used to worry that we would not find things. I can't even believe I used to feel that way because we've never not found cool things. I mean, there's way more than we could buy. And because I like to learn, I'll go to a sale and I'll see some new category of item that I've never thought about before. And, we'll try it out. It'll be something new, different, and I'll do the research on it and learn like that. Like I learned about, magic, and I learned so many things I didn't know from that adventure there. My big one day, I wish we live not far from Los Angeles, but just far enough away that one day I really want to get to an estate sale of somebody, not necessarily a celebrity, but somebody who worked in the TV business, because I love scripts old
wow, yeah.
TV paperwork. And that would be my holy grail, is to go to an estate sale. And I know they've happened and we've just never been able to get to them, and pick up, just go through someone's, life that had worked in the business, and be able to purchase some of their items and bring them into my collection would be
very nice.
Stellar.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool to do. I mean, if you got the connections there, I mean, you're not too far away. Go there and check out some estate sales.
Yeah, and I think it'll be different. I mean, I'm surprised you kind of get used to your own area. And I just, even from what I see people buy from other places, it is funny. As connected as we are in this world, you still find very different things in our stores than you would find in the thrift store in Kansas or New York City or where?
Thailand.
Thailand.
So, word on the street, Cynthia, it's just coming to me from the grapevine here that there is something about a book. A book. What's this all about? What's this? Are we talking to someone famous here, Ron?
Yeah. Well, I am an author, and I used to make my living, much more of my living as an author. So I had actually started out writing a class, one of those, you sign up and you take the class and learn how to eBay. Mm-hmm. And I just went, you know what, let me just turn it into a book. It's a whole lot. It's what I know. It's similar. I do it. I blog. It's what I know. So what it is, because we were going to so many eBay people that were like, take $500 and buy all this stuff. So this one, it's called Start Making Money on eBay Without Spending a Dime, except for the price of my book. So I should call it eBay for $3.
But the book costs a dime, doesn't it? No,
Start Making Money on eBay by only spending $2.99 for this book. And it's an ebook, so you can download it. And it is step by step, not really about sourcing. It's less about actually, how to get on eBay. Like, you can figure that out. There's lots of instructions, but it's how you can start sourcing, just as we did, by selling things that you don't have to pay for, whether they're your cast-offs, your neighbor's cast-offs. I covered dumpster diving.
We've had a guy on the show was dumpster diver.
Yeah, it's big. If you don't mind digging it, there is.
He actually went to the landfills.
You can't.
He dived in head first.
You can't do that here in California, but I grew up in New Jersey, and we used to do that. You used to go to the landfill and find all the toys people threw away. Like, people throw away good stuff. So that's kind of what the book is really about. How, it's about how, because again, in the old days of eBay, you used to have to pay to list. Now, you get a whole bunch of listings for free. So you literally do not have to have any money down. You don't have to risk any money to start your own eBay business and do it. And my son just started he did it again. He started cleaning out his room and went, I've got a bunch of, old action figures I'm not into anymore. And he set up his own account and started selling, and he had his first sale. I'm jealous. He had his first sale in like 4 days.
Wow.
And a great feedback. So he got $30 on two different sales in under 2 weeks for stuff that was laying around his room. And now he's going, hey, if I take that $30 and use it to buy more stuff, there we go. So,
I'd have to say, I think it's something like 97.9854% of all eBay businesses start by selling things in their home.
Yeah.
Have you been Googling while we've been talking, Ron? Have you? Where did you get that number from?
Well, 37% of all statistics are made up on the fly.
There you go. That one, I think that one could be very right, though, because it is a way to both clear out, which is good, especially, holiday time's coming, all those new things are coming in. So it's a good time of year to start clearing out. And especially if you've got kids, your kids grow out of clothes. They don't want those toys anymore. Those are fantastic things to flip to people who have kids and can't afford to buy brand new clothes and brand new toys, or just don't want to. And it's a great way to get started and just test the water, because, I hear people too go like, don't give away the eBay secrets, because then everybody's going to do it. Right. But, half the people, here's another statistic. Half of people who start selling on eBay never sell again. It's work. It is work, especially if you want to get a regular income out of it. It is a process, and a lot of people will find it's not for them in the long run. But those of us who love it. Yeah. And once you're hooked, you're done for.
And then you become obsessive and compulsive about it. And you make that $30. Ooh, 30. Maybe I could make that 60. That is the most common thing that on this show we get. Is it always starts normally with people around about their house, selling something around their house. And then the addiction kicks in. Now they're thrifting. And that's how it works. It's just, I love it. And do you know what? I'm so glad we got you on here today, Cynthia, because you got such great energy. I can just tell by talking to you that you have so much fun with this. And that is the message that we sort of try to get out here. So really appreciate you spending the time with us today. Really enjoyed it.
Absolutely. Well, I haven't been able to get the smile off my face since I've had the image of you in the clown dance costume. So I just
neither have I. I'm going to do it. If I have to Photoshop it, I will do it. It'd be better if I had it. Yeah. I probably won't put it on Facebook. I don't want to go that far. It's getting a bit weird, isn't it? Might lose a few guests there, Ron, but no, thanks for spending the time with us. We've really enjoyed it. We'll post all the notes from today's interview on our show notes page, which can be found at www.soyouwannasellonebay.com/show notes. Cynthia, before you go, how can this big, bad, wide world keep in touch with you?
Well, they can find us on eBay under Boris Basement. If they look around, they will find that on there. And they can also find me at cynthiaboris.com. I have my own website, and that's where they can find links to all my books and things like that, and my Twitter. I love Twitter. So if they want to come see me on Twitter, I'm Cynthia Lil, Lil, and I love to tweet, and I will happily tweet back at you. If you tweet me.
That's a niche in itself. I can't get a hang of that. I tweet really well for a week and then, oh God, I'm bored. I don't know. It's not my forte. Is it yours, Ron?
Not at all.
not at all. So if you want Cynthia's tweeting techniques, contact her there. Thanks once again for spending the time with us, Cynthia. We thoroughly enjoyed it. From everyone here at So You Want to Sell on eBay, I'm Ali Young.
And I'm Ron LeBeau.
That's all for this episode of So You Want to Sell on eBay. Be sure to check out our next episode or any past episodes by going online to soyouwannasellonebay.com. Also, be sure to follow us on your favorite social media sites, facebook.com/So You Want to Sell on eBay, and Twitter at Your eBay Podcast. Thanks for listening. And until next time, happy selling.
Have an idea for a topic or know someone who would like to be on the show? Let us know. Just go to www.soyouwannasellonebay.com/interview. We look forward to hearing from you. This podcast was produced in part by Pro VoiceWorks.